guys, welcome back to the channel. I know, it has been a very long time. What else is new? I am going to have some administrative stuff at the end of this video if you want to hang around for that. You don't have to, but it'll be there if you want to hang around for it. Anyway, I saw a graphic that asked a question the other day, and I thought it'd make a decent video. And I thought it would make a decent discussion as well. And this question was posted by a page called Kev Carr Paranormal. And the question is about ghost adventures. And it asks the question, has ghost adventures helped or hindered the paranormal? And I thought that was an interesting question, mostly because this is one of those things you're going to get from me quite a lot. I'm going to always say it depends, or both. And in this situation, I think it's both. So let's talk about it, because I know a lot of people have very, very strong opinions, especially about things like ghost adventures. So have they helped or hindered the paranormal? How have they helped the paranormal? Well, they're not the only paranormal TV show out there. And we're going to leave YouTube channels out of this for right now, and we're going to stick to the TV stuff. As most of you are well aware, they are not by any means the only TV show that's out there that has to do with ghosts and things of that nature. They're not the only ones. They certainly won't be the last ones. The quality of the show is obviously up for debate. But have they helped the paranormal? I think they have. They have done some good. It's not all bad. They have brought it to the forefront. They have brought people in and let them know that this is a thing that can be done. You can get your questions answered. Most people, when you ask them why they do paranormal investigation, their answer is usually going to be somewhere along the lines of, well, I had an experience years ago, and now I've got all these questions, etc., etc. And now you have the ability to get those questions answered, and you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay somebody. You don't have to find a medium or anything like that. And a lot of these people are seeing through shows like Ghost Adventures that, yeah, I could go out and I could do this myself. I can get these answers myself. It gives them some jumping off point as well. Because let's face it, if you're going to go out there and you're going to do a paranormal investigation for the very first time, what is it that you do the very first time? If you have done paranormal investigation, try to think back to the very first time that you did it. How did you do it? What questions did you ask? What equipment did you bring with you? How did you act? Etc., etc. Where did you get that information from? Like, how did you know what questions to ask? How did you know what to bring with you? How did you know what to expect or what to prepare for and things like that? Probably from paranormal TV shows, whether it was Ghost Adventures or one of the other ones. You probably based a lot of your questions off of things that you heard other paranormal investigators asking. You know, you probably walked into a room and said, is there anybody here with me right now? If you got any kind of feedback, or if you're using a voice recorder, because a lot of people will start with a voice recorder, and you're not going to get immediate feedback. So you walk into the room with your voice recorder and you say, is there anybody here with me right now? If there's anybody here with me right now, can you tell me what your name is? Can you tell me when you died? Which, again, is a debatable question to ask. But you probably got your ideas for what questions you wanted to ask from watching things like Ghost Adventures, or I can't remember all the other TV shows, but the Jason Hawes and Taps, they're probably another one that you got some of your ideas from. Things along those lines. You probably also got a general idea of what kind of equipment to bring with you. What was available? What were the kinds of things that you could get? I mean, at the time you didn't have, when they first started, there weren't things like phone apps, and, you know, a lot of this equipment was just non-existent. But you got a general idea. I can bring a voice recorder. I can bring my camera. I can take photographs. I can, you know, whatever, I can use a K2 meter, whatever it is that you saw them using. You may have gone out and done some research. And back in those days when there wasn't quite as many people who were into actually doing it, they were into watching it, but weren't actually into doing it, you could get a lot of that equipment at a decent price. If you've done any research lately, you know you can't. Even things like the cat balls that used to be like $1 a piece, or like they're like $2 or $3 a piece or more. I've seen them go for as high as $15 a ball, and they used to be like $1. But you know, all this equipment that they're using now, I mean, those REM pods that, you know, the round things that have all the lights on them and the antenna that's sticking out of the top of them, those things can go for between $300 and $600. I mean, my God. But you now have an idea of some of the equipment that's out there. And again, there's more equipment being made. There's apps being made. And everybody has an opinion on the usefulness of all of that stuff. And we're not going to get into any of that right now. But this stuff is all becoming more available. Yeah, the price is going way the heck up. But it's there. The other thing that it's done is it has opened up more places. There's more investigators out there now than there was 15, 20 years ago. You've got more people that are interested in doing this. You've got more locations that are opening up and are willing to let investigators come in. So now you can go to a location rather than just kind of wandering around in the woods and hoping you catch something that passes as evidence, or wandering around in a cemetery and then trying to check names. You can actually go to a location, and any evidence that you get, like if you get a name or if you get some kind of sound or, you know, anything like that, you can actually go into that location's history and research it. So if you have a voice recorder with you and you pick up the name Frank, you can go into the history of that house and find out if there was ever somebody named Frank that had any kind of strong connection to that house, whether they lived there for 30 years, or maybe they died there, or they were murdered out in the front lawn or something like that. You have the ability now to go to places that can be researched, which means that you can actually verify your findings and you can decide if this is credible evidence or not. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you are at a house and you pick up the name Frank and your research doesn't show that there's any Frank that had a strong connection to that location, it doesn't mean you have to throw away the evidence. But if you can find some kind of information that goes along with that particular name, the evidence that you captured there is a lot stronger. And the fact that Ghost Adventures has been around, they've gone to a lot of these locations that people are going into, and they have opened this up and made it a little more normalized, it makes the findings that people have just a little bit more convincing to you and to, you know, anybody you're showing it to, or your viewers, or whatever the case may be. So those are definitely the ways that, in my opinion, they have helped the paranormal. So how have they hindered the paranormal? Oh, how can we count the ways? Okay, so they have hindered it quite a bit. I don't know if I can fully blame them for it. That's the problem. Can you fully blame them for all of the hindrances that are out there? Now, some of the equipment, as I've said, it's debatable the usefulness of some of the equipment and the apps and things like that. Because of the amount of equipment that you see on shows like that and the amount of people who are now getting into paranormal investigating, you are getting a lot of really questionable equipment that's coming out. And there are people on YouTube who can explain that stuff a lot better than me. People like Kenny Biddle, who have actually tested these things. Go watch his stuff and he can show you why some of this stuff is really, really questionable. But you're getting a lot of questionable stuff out there because you've got a lot more people out there who realize that they can make a buck. Because there are so many people who are willing to pay $300 to $600 for a REM pod. It's a little round box that blinks and does a buzzer noise when supposedly somebody touches the antenna. It's not that serious, but you've got a lot of people out there who are willing to pay $300 to $600 to get one of those so that they can use it in their investigations. So you've got a whole lot of people out there that are making a whole bunch of random equipment, and you're getting some really weird equipment. Some of it is really friggin' weird. And they are realizing that they can make bank on this. If you need proof of that, look at the cat balls. The cat balls, for those of you who don't know, are the small plastic balls that people will lay around in an investigation site. And if something causes them to move in any way, like if there's a vibration or somebody touches them or they roll or something like that, they have these lights inside where they start blinking. They were originally designed to be cat toys. At least that's what I've been told. I have cat balls. They seem like they're a little bit hard to be a cat toy. But I've never owned a cat, so I don't know. I wouldn't give it to my dog, I can tell you that, because she'd just, well, first of all, my dog would just swallow it. But I wouldn't give something like that to a dog, because they would just break it. But I don't know if a cat would or not. But apparently it was supposed to be a cat toy. And when they first started being used, you could get, I think, I want to say I paid like $4 or $5 for a 4-pack of those things. And that was only a couple of years ago. And recently, I will double check before I post this video. I will double check, but the last time I saw them available, they were like $12 a piece. Solely because of the fact that whoever's creating them realized they could make bank on them, because the paranormal investigators will pay big money for equipment. And the cat ball is hot. Let's face it, the cat ball is hot right now. And whether you think they're useful or not is irrelevant. They are hot. A lot of people are buying them. And the person who makes them, or the people who make them, realize that they can make some bank on these things, because they are probably selling better as a paranormal investigation tool than they ever sold as a cat toy. So there you go. They're no longer cat toys. They are paranormal investigation tools that cost a buttload of money. Still one of the cheaper things that you can get. In all honesty, it's still one of the cheaper tools that you can get, but they are a lot more expensive than they used to be. So that's a hindrance, that one, especially not just the amount of money, but the deranged equipment that's coming out, some of the weird stuff. Like I said, go check out people like Kenny Biddle, and you can see what the issues are with a lot of these apps and various equipment and things like that. You don't need all the equipment, but when you watch things like Ghost Adventures, you feel like you do, because they're using all this equipment. I haven't watched Ghost Adventures in years, so I don't know what they're using right now. I don't know if they're still using all that equipment, but there was a period of time where I was watching it, and they were using all this equipment. You've also got the birth of the YouTube paranormal investigator. And again, this is something else that I'm going to have a discussion about. I already recorded a video on it, and I have to re-record the video because my lavalier mic died. But I'm not going to get too much into this one. But you've got a large quantity of people who are making YouTube channels, and the validity of their investigations are questionable. And it has to go by a case-by-case basis, because you've got people on YouTube who are putting out paranormal investigations, and they are sincere. They are doing honest investigations. Sometimes they're getting some evidence or something that could be questioned and discussed as possible evidence. Sometimes they don't get jack diddly, and that's fine. But you've also got channels that you can see that they are desperately trying to be Ghost Adventures. Everything that they do is trying to be Ghost Adventures, which is fine. If you can make a buck, and I know I'm going to have people argue with me, but if you can make a buck, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to fight you on it. They're two completely different audiences that these two groups are going for. The groups that yell and scream and are trying to be Ghost Adventures are not attracting the same audience that the people who are doing legit investigations are attracting. The two crowds are not the same. But you do have these people out there, and you do have people who cannot tell who's for real and who's not. And you're going to have people who their first glimpse into the paranormal are people who saw Ghost Adventures. And they're going to start doing more research, and they're going to go online, and the first thing that's going to pop up is a lot of these channels that are trying to be like Ghost Adventures. And I do wish that these channels would stop trying to be Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures already exists. They don't need 600 clones. Do your own thing. Be your own people. Be your own group. Do it your own way. Even if you're bullshitting everybody. Do your own thing. Be your own person. We don't need 7,000 clones of Ghost Adventures. They already exist. Anyway, you've got these people who are coming out and they're just starting to do their research. And the first channels that they are going to find when they do their off-TV research is the channels that are trying to be like Ghost Adventures. And they're going to think that this is what the paranormal is like all the time. Especially if they have somebody that they are trying to contact. If it's a loved one or something like that. They're going to think that they're going to contact a ghost hunting team, and these people are going to come in and they're going to contact them, and there's going to be all this stuff, and they're going to have 4 demons living in their pantry, and there's going to be somebody's dead cat ghost now lives in their bathtub, and you know, their neighbor from 6 years ago who fell down the stairs and died is now living in their garage. And that's not how this stuff works. It's just not. And again, I'm going to have a whole video on that subject at a different time when I get the energy to re-record that. Thank you, Lav Mike. But that is a huge hindrance. Because unfortunately, those people who are trying to find answers, they're trying to learn how to do their own paranormal investigations, or they're trying to find a team to come in and help them to do their own paranormal investigations, they're not getting the honest answers that they need. They're getting Ghost Adventures, and they're getting YouTubers. And Ghost Adventures at least has an excuse. What is the excuse? The excuse is that they are being run by a TV network. And a TV network is not going to have the patience to deal with a team that isn't getting evidence. In order to keep viewers on a TV show, you have to have excitement. Okay? Whether that's true or not is irrelevant. It's what the TV networks believe. Every single episode has to be exciting. So every single episode there has to be some kind of evidence, or at least the portrayal that there was some kind of evidence found, or somebody's being possessed, or somebody's coat got pulled, or somebody got an atomic wedgie, whatever. They have to have excitement in every single episode in order to keep the viewers, because more viewers means more ads. The TV network goal is not to find answers about the afterlife, about the paranormal, etc., etc. The TV network's goal is to get eyes on the show so that they can sell advertising space. Period. It's the same thing with YouTube. That's why when you have these big channels that are very, very exciting, very much like the TV shows, and they've got a bajillion viewers as compared to, you know, Tom and Harry over here and their paranormal team that has 50 videos and 2 pieces of evidence, and they've only got, I don't know, maybe 50,000 subscribers. YouTube is going to lean towards the team that's got 100,000 instead of the team that's got 50,000, because you've got more eyes on the video and you can sell more ad space. It's always about the ad space and the people who are going to throw money to get their product seen in front of all of those eyes that are watching the show. So, it's not completely Ghost Adventures. I don't know if Ghost Adventures, if the guys on the team ever cared about finding real paranormal. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They are in a TV show with a TV network that wants advertising dollars. So, every single episode is going to be exciting. That's how it is. It's money. That, unfortunately, is a huge hindrance. When you start bringing in advertising dollars and sponsorships and all that kind of stuff, that unfortunately hinders a lot of it. And you can see it in the YouTube channels. If you've ever started watching a YouTube paranormal team, and you started watching them very early on, and they were legit, and they were doing everything really well, maybe they were getting evidence, maybe they weren't, and then all of a sudden the views started coming in and they started getting paid. You can actually almost see the switch flip. As soon as the money starts coming in and they start realizing, oh my god, I could do this for a living, I could make bank, this is awesome, all of a sudden their channel is ridiculous. There's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of dude broing, there's a lot of finding ridiculous amounts of evidence or hinting that they heard something that you can't hear, and yada yada, and it's all over the place. And they've got 5,000 different people in there, and all of a sudden they're doing they've got people that are collabing on their channels that have twice as many viewers as them because they're hoping to grow their audience, and it's all because they want to make bank. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you can quit your job and do YouTube videos for a living, good for you. That's great. And we will discuss, again, I will discuss in another video why they need you to believe that it's real. That's a whole other story in its own right. But it's a huge hindrance to the paranormal because there's a lot of discouragement. I always tell people, if you're doing legitimate paranormal investigation, if you guys notice, when I first started the channel, I was posting my videos, investigations, things like that, and I decided to stop doing that. And there's a huge reason why. There's a lot of reasons why. But I wasn't getting a lot of evidence. I wasn't getting a lot of views. And it was getting discouraging. But it's a thing that I've been doing for 25 years. And I realized that YouTube was sucking the joy out of it. So I stopped posting the videos on YouTube. I have my own reasons for doing paranormal investigation. And I just decided that I'm going to continue to do that. I don't necessarily need an audience for it. It's for me. It's for the questions that I have. And I highly recommend that if you are going to do that, and your goal is not to become a YouTuber and make $1 bazillion doing YouTube videos, don't record them and post them on YouTube. Record them for yourself because, you know, you need to go over your own evidence. But you don't have to post them on YouTube. It just depends on what it is that you want. Do you have a passion for the paranormal, or do you have a passion for doing this for a living? Both reasons are valid. I'm not shaming anybody here. Both reasons are valid. But it has to be what you want, not what everybody else wants. You have to decide what you want to get out of it. Do you want your questions answered? Do you want to contribute something to the paranormal world? Or do you just want to make a bunch of money and be famous? It's up to you. Valid either way. It's your decision. Those are questions that you have to answer for yourself. Those are ethics that you have to decide. Where do your morals and ethics lie in that? It's all on you. And it is not my position to judge, and I'm not going to. But that is definitely a hindrance. That's where you are. How do you tell who's real, who's fake? Especially if you don't have a trained eye. If you're just starting to get into this, how do you tell? You don't know. Obviously, the more exciting ones are the ones you're going to watch, but are they real? Are they not? How do you tell? That's something that comes along with a little bit of research, a little bit of a trained eye. Unfortunately, it's sort of a good luck thing. But anyway, those are the helps and hinders. Like I said, I believe they have done both. They have both helped and they have hindered. You can agree, you can disagree. Please let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Do you think shows like Ghost Adventures have helped or hindered? Is there an either or? Is it both? Is it neither? I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. You can leave it on my socials if you want. You can email it to me too if you want. I don't care. But go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Have they helped or hindered? Now, the administrative stuff. If you want to hang around for this, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'll see you in the next video. But if you do, first of all, having a little bit of an issue. Apparently, I'm time blind. I say I'm time blind because I was beating myself up because it's been like 3 weeks since I posted a video, and I was getting really, really upset with myself, and then I went and checked something on my YouTube channel and realized it had actually been 5 months. So, what I thought was 3 weeks was 5 months. So, I honest to God thought I put a video out 3 weeks ago. I didn't. I was thinking of the correct video. It was just not the correct amount of time. So I do apologize. That is a thing that happens. I am working on it, but I'm never going to be Ghost Adventures on YouTube. What can I tell you? I just, again, I'm time blind. For whatever reason, I thought it was 3 weeks and it was 5 months. I do apologize. I will work on it. I know I say that in every single video, but I trust I am working on it. The second thing is that I have made a slight change. It's not slight. I've made a slight change to how I'm doing my videos. One of the issues that I have with making videos is I really hate getting on camera. I've noticed that I don't seem to have an issue, even though I can get a little wild, as this video probably did. I can get a little bit wild doing a voice recording. But I really, really hate getting on camera. I get very, very monotone. I have a hard time trying to inflect in my voice when I'm on video. I keep thinking about, oh, I have to make an inflection in my voice here. Oh, I have to move my face. I have to do this. I have to do that. Plus, I have to do my hair. I have to get dressed. I have to put makeup on. It's a pain in the ass. And by the time I run all those steps through my head before sitting down to record a video, I just go, I don't feel like doing this right now. And then the videos don't get made. And then it ends up being 5 months between videos. So I am removing my face from the videos. I haven't fully decided. I'm thinking I'm going to continue using my little ghosty friend here as my stand-in, as it were. But no, I'm not going to put my face on the video anymore. You all don't want to look at me anyway. I am old and ugly, and I am nothing to look at. So I'm removing myself from the videos just because it's easier for me to sit down and do a recording than it is to try to get myself to sit down and videotape myself, especially with all the garbage that I have to do beforehand. I can't just sit down and turn on the camera. I have to get dressed and do my hair and put on makeup and then I look at the videos and I see myself and I'm going, God damn it, I look like a potato with lipstick. I can't look like a potato with lipstick if my video does not contain my face. So I hope you guys are okay with the change. Again, your